Welcome back to the Gospel in 3D. And I'm excited about our time together today. As you know, these videos are here to equip and encourage every Christian to live every day with gospel intentionality. I want to see you thrive and succeed in your walk with Jesus Christ. My name is Derek Van Ruler, and I am here to guide you along that process. Today we are continuing on in a multi-part mini snapshot series in which we are learning how to read the Bible. Part of the Christian life requires us to know about the God that we say we love and serve. And what better way to know Him than by reading the very book He has given to us to know Him? That's the Bible. In the last video, we looked at the basic background to the Bible. If you missed that, go ahead and check out that video on YouTube or on the Facebook page of Sunbury City Church to catch up. Now today, we're going to look at the 4 basic steps I use when studying a section of the Bible. And because I like pictures, I envision these 4 steps like a baseball diamond, in which we need to go to first base first, and then second, and then third, before rounding the corner and going home. To skip a base or to go out of order will lead the umpire to call you out. The same ought to be true when it comes to reading the Bible. Too often I find that we want to go from the section that we're reading straight to applying it to our lives, bypassing steps 1 and 3, which means that we end up with crazy views on the Bible that simply don't make sense. And yet, we build our lives upon those things, and we become divisive over those things. Let's not go down that road. Let's learn how to read the Bible correctly, which will hopefully help us to see the vastness of the Bible. So let's look at this. Step 1 of good Bible reading is context. Context is key to everything. There are things that I can say that you will immediately know what I mean. For instance, when I say 9/11, you know that I am talking about that fateful day in 2001 in which terrorists took down the World Trade Center towers. Or if I say Uncle Sam, you know that I'm talking about the United States government. But if you live a normal life in South Africa, you will probably have no idea what I'm talking about. And that's because of context. Americans have context to what I'm saying. South Africans don't. The same thing happens when we come to the Bible. There is context to each passage that the average Israelite would have known as they read or heard the Bible read that we simply miss. And in order to really grasp what the Bible is saying, we must learn to figure out the context of a particular passage before making conclusions about what a passage is saying. Some of those contexts are the book context, where the passage is placed within a book, or the Bible context, where the book takes place in the entire storyline of the Bible. There's also the historical and social context, the cultural and political context. What was going on in the day and age that this book or passage was written? What kind of mentality did the people have? What were their desires? We will look more deeply at this in a future video, but those are some of the things that I mean when I say context. The second step is section. This is where we dig into the section that we are reading itself. Once we've grasped the context and have placed ourselves in the ancient mindset, then we are ready to look at the passage itself. As we do, we want to take a look at what the passage is saying. Like, what kind of passage is this? Is this a gospel or is it poetry? We will have to read those two differently. What is the flow of the argument? What are the major points that the author is trying to make? What are the surprising details that the author includes or maybe leaves out? This is where we are taking our time to really study and look at the passage in depth, to know it like the back of our hands. The third step is theology. This is where we have to take what we've learned from the context and the section and we begin to see how it points to other parts of the Bible. We begin to look and see how this fulfills a section of the Bible from before, or maybe it foreshadows something that will come. And as always, we look and try to figure out how this points to Jesus Christ. We don't ever want to move from our study without seeing how it connects to Jesus Christ and His work in rescuing us. The fourth step is application. Once we have done all of the other steps, then we can begin to accurately apply this to our lives. This is where we are beginning to challenge the way we live. And we begin to ask questions of, where do I not live in light of this truth in this passage? How should my life change because of this truth? We don't want to simply be hearers of the Bible, but ones who are changed by it. That is what will produce godliness in our lives. So there you have it, 4 steps to reading the Bible. In the next video, we will take a deeper look at understanding the context of a passage. Until then, grab the book of 1 Peter, begin to read it, and make notes from it. And join me in the next video where we dive into the context. Until next time, happy reading.